Welcome back to the Fight Pit, ladies and gents. It is the boys in the house call that is. Today we are covering UFC 306 O'Malley versus Dvalishvili. Dvalishvili nailed it, baby.
Got it.
Perfect,
First try, baby.
Perfect start right out of the gate. Going down. Riyadh season, Noche UFC, Saturday, September 14th at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Intro music.
Hey, Drew, you figure out what my name says yet?
Espectaculo del Azúcar. Spectacular sugar.
Steph's gonna kick my ass for that. I had no clue.
It's literally translates to sugar show.
Oh, sugar. Oh, man. I should have known that. Damn it. That's beautiful. I don't know if you guys noticed mine, but the D in D City stands for exactly what you think it stands for.
Darce.
Dong.
We got a hang down.
Whatever you think it stands for, that's what it stands for.
It's like the F in Lil Wayne's name.
Yeah. The F is for phenomenal.
Yeah.
Boom, and we back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the boys in the house. Welcome back to the Fight Pit. With us today, we have, boom, I got it right this time, Gagemus Maximus, the 12 gauge, Espectaculo del Azúcar. My man, Gage, how you doing today, brother?
It's a good day. Recording. We got 4 people in here today. It's always nice when we get the OG crew.
It's good to have, you know, one of those episodes for this one. Absolutely. Downstairs, we got Sean Ryan Sports, Shaun of the Dead. Sean, how you doing today, my man?
Pretty good. How about you?
So far, so good. So far, so good. I nailed Dvalishvili, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself. And cat corner adjacent over here, we got the Gold Mule. Kyle is back in the house. So good to have you. How are you doing
back from
today,
the
sir?
dead, man. Back from the dead. It's good to be back. Prelims guest here for you. I'm gonna be bouncing when we get to the main card. Unfortunately, been working a little bit on some brand management stuff. It's been a blast. You know us at the house call. We will always keep rolling, no matter what.
It don't stop.
Although we are going to pressure you 100% to do the main card when we get there.
I expect nothing less. I expect nothing
while we're going through the prelims, I am going to be tinkering with this, trying to figure out how to disable your leave studio button. So, if it's not there when you reach for it, bro, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
It was someone else. It wasn't me. I wasn't there.
Yeah. You stuck with us, son. You stuck with us.
Or at least
306.
Your picks.
Ain't nobody I'd rather be stuck with. Ain't nobody I'd rather be stuck with.
The Fight Pit's not a bad place.
Clipping that, sending it to Steph, Kyle, right there. Clipping it. And less than 5 minutes in, we already got Kyle in trouble. It's a new record, guys. We did it. We did it. I didn't know if we were gonna make it. It was tough there, but we did. The under 5 did cash. The under
5. It was very long.
First round.
We pulled it off, boys. We pulled it off. That's kicking off our picks for the card. We're already at we're very up on plus money with that. Under 5 minutes, dude. Great call on that, Gage, too. Gage has been hitting underdogs. Gage has been hitting underdogs non-stop lately. So we got a cool one at the Sphere. Are any of you guys going by chance? Before I start talking smack about it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
$3,000 a ticket. You think I'm fucking
kidding me?
No.
Bro,
I just
What
dropped
is that? What
$5,000
is that?
bike.
I've been on this earth almost 36 years now. I have not seen anything that made me want to pay $3,000 for it. Not a single thing. Deadpool and Wolverine, maybe 1,000 if I had to, but that's the extent of it. This and they've been slashing ticket prices pretty heavily because it seems they're having trouble selling out the event. And I don't know, it's Mexican Independence Day. We have Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili headlining. It's going to be a grand expose, as they do. Dana White explained that he's going to be telling a story throughout the night between each fight. And I don't know about you guys, but if I go to the fights, I'm trying to see some fights. I would probably get pretty annoyed if they had to stop and do a whole segment in between each one. I can't even stand watching the Triller fights, the boxing events and stuff with all the music guests. And no, I'm there to watch fights.
That's what they're going to do, though. There's going to be some long... It's going to end up taking up an hour and a half of the entire broadcast of just clips in between each fight because that was said.
Oh, I'm sure they are going to love the fact that these fights are probably all going to end in the first round, and they're going to have all this extra BS to fill the time with instead of people having to try to talk. But solid card. Love the card. Not $3,000 worth. I have trouble paying what it costs to watch it from home. I am certainly not going to be dropping. I'm not going to be dropping a used car on going to Vegas. I've been to Vegas. I've seen it. The Sphere looks cool, but it's not enough to drag my not enough to drag my hermit ass out of my show for that. But we're probably gonna win enough to all go if we want to, betting on it. So maybe the one after, we'll take all of our winnings and we'll all fly on out and check out the one after. Probably gonna be exciting too. Prelims, we have Yasmin Jauregui versus Ketlin Souza opening it up. Yasmin Jauregui, 11-1, 7 KOs, 4 decision wins. She's 4-1 in her last 5, coming off of a unanimous decision win over Sam Hughes. Ketlin Souza, 14-4, 8 KOs, 1 submission, 5 decision wins, also 4-1 in her last 5. And also coming off of a unanimous decision win over Marnik Mann back in April. This is a tough one for me. I very much so, even though they're both coming off of unanimous decision victories, I am really smelling a finish in this one. For some reason, I feel like this is a solid matchup. It's a sweet, it's a sweet fight at strawweight. I don't believe either of these are ranked, but I think that this is definitely one that's good enough to be kicking off the card. Yasmin Jauregui, no stranger to the knockout. She has 7 KO TKO wins, 4 decisions. And Ketlin Souza also has more finishes than decision wins. We got Yasmin Jauregui went to the decision in her last one. Prior to that, she had 2 KO fights in a row. She lost 1 and she won 1. Then another decision, and then 2 KOs. So I feel like the trends say that after this decision, there's probably going to be a couple KO instances from her. It's hard to choose who it's going to be. I'm leaning towards Yasmin Jauregui, but I am not confident in that at all. Not confident in that at all. My gut says to go with over 1.5. That's going to be my overs pick. Money line is where it gets tricky. But I'm going to lean Yasmin Jaregi, but if I could, I would not make that the official pick. We got to have an official pick, but if I could, I would just go fight not to go the distance over 1.5. I'm going to say Yasmin Jaregi, but this one more so than anything, I would say leave this one off the parlays and just enjoy it and wait to see who is the one that gets the finish in this one, because I smell a finish. I smell it.
That one's a parlay destroyer, though.
It is. It is. That's one of those ones that would absolutely wreck your night right off the bat. And so, official pick, I'm going Yasmin Jaregi over 1.5. And I am taking fight not to go the distance as the bet pick. Money line overs bet pick. Absolutely leave this one off unless you're just trying to play every fight as it goes. I would stay away from this one. Do we have any rebuttals?
As a resident women's UFC
Yeah.
we doesn't have a women's fight on this card when there's 3 of
I
them.
thought about
Shout
it.
out,
Really
Kyle.
thought about it, man.
We could pass off Irene Aldana and Norma Dumont if you really need to. If you really need to. I mean, I just want to make sure you get your fix, dude, because I know it's tough when we don't give you a women's fight. I don't want to see you like that, man. I care about you. I really don't want to see that happen to you. But I'm going to finish.
Don't worry, the co-main's won. I got my fix. We're good.
Yeah, you're good.
That's right. That's enough for all of us to get a good fix on that one. But I am going to throw it to you, Gage, for the next one. We got Edgar Chavez versus Kevin Borjas.
This is perfect transition into this. Keep this card off your parlay. Keep this fight off your parlay. For the love of God. Borjas is 0-3 in the UFC. He's not 9-3 in his career, or 9-4. I don't remember. 9 and something. Chavez has a win in the UFC, has a draw, overturned draw, and then has a loss in his first fight to, I can't remember. I can't remember his name. And he looked terrible in that fight. He has awful striking percentage, under 40% all 3 of his fights in the UFC so far. And the fight he won by submission, he wasn't the one that initiated a takedown. He got taken down and worked a submission. But all these negatives being said, Edgar does have reach advantage. He's a little older, has more fights, and actually has a win in the UFC. So, official pick, Edgar. By decision, official bet pick, over 1.5, because this is going to be painful.
This one pretty close. But I got to agree with you on that one, dude.
They both don't strike phenomenal. They don't go to the ground a lot. And it's going to be a long, rough start to the
Thank goodness they're going to have all those presentations and stories going on in between. Maybe that'll help liven the stuff up after these ones get rolling. That one you said, what did you say for the over? Over 1.5?
Over 1.5 for sure.
Okay. Beautiful. That is over 1.5. What did you say was the bet pick?
The bet pick was over 1.5.
Over what? Okay, gotcha.
Edgar was my pick for the fight.
Money line.
Bang.
You think EUDs or you think it's so back and forth?
It's gonna be. You could go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, the little 125ers, dude. They're gonna.
It's not gonna be an interesting close, I think, to be honest.
We do our best, guys, but sometimes we get ones like this where it's like
Which feels bad, like kind of shitting on these two guys who are in the UFC. They're skilled fighters, but like.
It's, dude, I totally
Yikes.
understand. Totally. Yeah. We're jumping up. Hopefully we can get something going with the 55ers. We're going to throw it to Sean on this one. We got Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Sean, take it away.
All right. Manuel Torres is 15-2, 7 KO, 7 submission, and his 2 losses have also been by submission. So he is a very good grappler, but also can be, he's not the best. He can get finished on the ground. Then you have Ignacio that is 15-5, 10 KOs, 1 submission, and he's been submitted twice. Neither have been KO'd, and I think that changes this fight. I don't expect them to be trying to take each other down. When this opened up, Ignacio was the favorite, and I don't know if he still is, but if he is not, this is a very fun underdog pick for me. I'm going to be going Manuel Torres. I'll tell you why here. Yes, he's the shorter fighter. He's 5'10" at lightweight, which is a good height, and Ignacio's 6'3", which is unrealistic at 155. I don't know how he does that. He has a 3-inch reach disadvantage. You would think it would be like a 5 or 6 inch, but it's only 3 inches. So Manuel is the faster fighter. I watched his last 2 fights today. He is the faster fighter without a doubt. He could work that jab in there beautifully. His feints remind me a lot of Leon Edwards. I wouldn't say Sean O'Malley because Sean O'Malley's feints are just next level to anyone. No one does feints like him. But Manuel Torres is a guy I can without a doubt say I can see him in the next 2 years being in the top 5 of this division. When a lot of our favorite older fighters basically retire here, when you have like the Gages, the Poiriers, you have Chandler, stuff like they'll be added to UFC probably in the next 2 years. I can see Manuel Torres being in the top 5. That's how much I see so much in this kid. He's 29 years old. His last one was by submission, which was really good. He set it up by knees to the body in the clinch. Guy was trying to take him down, multiple knees to the body. You could hear the thuds. Everything he throws, even his jabs, are meant to hurt you. And Ignacio is slower. He does have highlights. He has the spinning back kick. Very good fighter. He likes pushing the pace himself, but he's the slower fighter in this. Slower fighter. Honestly, his feints aren't as good. I think Ignacio is not going to be able. Well, he's going to find the range himself, but I think he's just going to be too slow in this fight. As what I've seen, Manuel Torres, he just has that Mexican boxer speed. He looks like he's a flyweight at lightweight, but he's just when it comes to his speed. And I really think that's going to be the difference in this fight. And I do think Manuel Torres is going to get a knockout in this fight. Neither have been knocked out so far, but I think that does change. I'm going to say 2nd round knockout by Manuel Torres. I have no idea what the line is for over, under, and rounds here because both of them finish almost all their fights and they don't really get finished much. So I really have no idea, but I'm going to say under 2.5 to be safe, but it would not surprise me if there's a highlight knockout in the 1st round. if not early in the second round.
I dig that. I dig that. I was not familiar with Manuel Torres's game. That's interesting. He sounds like a bad mofo. I have been I have been high on Bahamondes just because I've seen a number of his most recent fights, and I remember his name coming up. But that sounds like it's going to be a fun one. I figured it was going to be a finish too. But yeah, I like the Torres pick on that.
Make sure to watch some of his last couple fights. They are exciting. His pace he's so quick. Yeah.
Were they in the UFC?
Yeah, he's 4-0 in UFC. I think 3-0 if you want to consider Dana White Contender Series, then 4-0. And I think it's KO, submission, KO. So yeah, he has one decision win, but I think it was outside the UFC. Yeah.
Damn. Mm-hmm. That's when I see his name, I always think Miguel Torres. I remember Miguel Torres, but I haven't been keeping up with Manuel Torres. That sounds and he opened a plus money.
Yeah, I think plus 105.
Excuse me. Currently, hold on, let me refresh it real quick. We have him, well, not we, but William Hill has the line at, come on, where'd it go? Still at a plus 105 for Torres, so still plus money. Bahamondes is at a minus 125. 125 still. So the plus money is still there on Torres if you run and tell that right now. And I wonder what the finish odds for that would be. You said KO in the second round?
Yeah.
Second round. And under 2.5, which do you have, if any, do you have a solid bet pick on the fight that you want to lock in?
I'm just going to pick the underdog at this point. I'm going Manuel. I really do. I understand the other guy's 6'3", but it's like I don't see any part of the game where, unless Ignacio gets the knockout, I don't see how he wins this fight.
That is so crazy too. At 155 being 6'3".
Yeah.
That is insane. I can't even imagine that. Sick. I like it. We got, excuse me, 2 finishes already. We got the first fight and then Torres in this one. I dig that. That's a possible unders, possible finish parlay to keep in mind. Dig it. And then the next one, we have Irene Aldana and Norman Dumont. We will be having Matt doing shorts for those. Is that correct, Kyle?
That is correct.
All right. So you guys be, excuse me, tuned in on Instagram and TikTok, Matt Talks MMA. That's where you will get the pick for Irene Aldana and Norma Dumont. We're going to take it to Kai Guy on this one. Gotta throw you back in there, bro. Shake off the rust. Shake off the rust, because we got a good one for you. This is Raul Rosas Jr. versus Kilang Aori, or Aori Kilang, whichever is correct. That's the one we mean. Kyle, take it away.
That is what we're going with. For the purposes of this preview, I will be referring to him as Aori. Thank you in advance for your patience. This one is interesting because you got Aori, who is no doubt about what you're getting. He wants to stand and strike. He is nicknamed the Mongolian Murderer because he's going to throw a lot. He's going to take quite a lot in return as well. 6.03 significant strikes absorbed, 5.31 significant strikes landed. The big stat that I am kind of alarmed by with Aori is the 59% takedown defense and the fact that he has 3 submission losses, because on the other side of it, we know what we're getting with Raul Rosas Jr. 9-1, 8 finishes, 75% of those have come in the first round, 6 submissions, 2 knockouts. You know what you're getting with him. 4.39 takedowns per 15 minutes. He is throwing up at least 1 or 2 submissions, honestly, per round at this point. Like, he is going to be going to tap you out. That's frankly the way that I see this going, because I got to say, Raul Rosas Jr. absolutely smashed my heart by doing what he did to Ricky Tercios. I'm a big Ricky Tercios fan. Like, y'all know this about me. I love Ricky Tercios, and Raul Rosas Jr. just embarrassed him. So I'm not ever going to pick against this guy until he starts losing bad, because I frankly just haven't seen it. He's a young kid, 19 years old, going up against the 31-year-old in Aori with a tale as old as time. You know, young up-and-comer gets the more established veteran fighter. We know how this goes. I'm going with Raul Rosas Jr. under 1.5. Give me a submission. And you know what? Give me a rear naked choke.
RNC, baby.
I thought you were sneaking a Chihuahuas in there. I was really waiting for it. I'm not gonna lie.
Gotta earn him. Gotta earn him. I'm getting back into it. It does remind me. That does remind me, before I go, Valentina Shevchenko by decision, Sean O'Malley by a flying knee knockout.
Hey, hold on.
Merab is going to get
lock him
frisky. Merab's going to get frisky with shooting for the takedowns, and Sean is going to shoot a knee right up the middle. Second round, clean knockout, like out.
Boom, baby. O'Malley KO second round. Shevchenko, what now?
Shevchenko decision. I can't go against the bullet. That is one of my favorite fighters of all time.
Booyah, decision. And what was, if anything, on the Rosas and Kalang fight, the one bet that you are contributing to the people?
Oh, I would say... I would say take a look at method of victory for Rosas. His odds to win are so long to begin with. I don't really see a way for Aori to get out of that fight with a win. I'm going to be completely honest. This is Raul Rosas. This is them giving him a easier fight on a big stage. I don't see a way Aori can beat Raul Rosas Jr. So I would say look at method of victory and the under on the rounds. Ricky Tercios, for what it's worth, he's a dog. He took Raul Rosas to the second. Not a lot of people do that.
Very true. I think only him and one other guy, as far as I can remember.
That's it. Well, okay. Yeah. Because you had the decision, and then Ricky, and then there was one other that I think he got a second or third round finish. I don't know.
Okay, but still, not often.
It wasn't in the UFC, whatever it was.
We're going submission, hardcore all the way.
All day.
RNC, baby.
Lock it in. And with that, I leave you all in the very capable hands of these gentlemen who have been holding it down for me while I've been scrambling out of my mind, getting things all in place for this brand. Football season's around the corner. Make sure you're tuning in for that. We've got a lot of cool content. Obviously, there's no off season for fighting. We're always here. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following on all the channels. Take it away, Drew. I'm going to shut up now.
The Gold Mule out. Thank you, Kyle. We appreciate you, brother. We miss you already. That did not take long. Yes, capping off the prelims with some excitement. I dig it. Let us jump into the main card. I'm going to kick this one off. We got Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Ode Osborne or Osborne. This one, this one's tough. Osborne is the underdog. I feel like this one actually could be a little bit closer in the lines, but it's due to Ode Osborne's most recent
fights coming into play on this one. Ronaldo Rodriguez, 16-2, 7 KOs, 5 submissions, 3 decisions, 1 other. He is currently on a 6-fight win streak. 6-fight win streak. Remember that. That's going to come into play later. Coming off of a submission win over Dennis Bondar in February, going up against O'Day Osborne, 12-7, 5 KO wins, 4 submission wins, 3 decision wins. He is 2-3 in his last 5. Coming off of a loss by submission to Dvalishvili in March of this year, March 16th, 2024. So essentially, I think the line is where it is because one guy's on a 6-fight win streak, one guy is 2-3 in his last 5. This one, though, I do see this one also under 2.5, and it will be a finish. I think this one is a little bit closer than the line would lead you to believe, though. Both of these guys have finishes every which way, and it wasn't all that long ago that these guys had finishes every which way. The last fight for Rodriguez obviously was a submission win back in February. O'Day Osborne lost by submission in his last fight. I believe he dropped the last 2 fights in a row. Let me confirm that real quick. Yeah, so 2-3 in his last 5, lost the last 2 by submission, and then previous to that beat Charles Johnson by decision. Prior to that one, lost by KO to Tyson Nam. So getting finished 3 of the last 5 fights he had, all since the year 2022. Staying active, and excuse me. I really dig O'Day Osborne just as a person. I follow him on Instagram. He has a lot of great content. He seems like a great dude. He's training real hard. He works hard. Very inspirational. But this one, I understand why Ronaldo is the favorite. I just don't think he should be that much of a favorite. I do see Ronaldo Rodriguez getting a submission in this one, or at least I think that's what he's going to be hunting for. I think he is going to take this fight to the ground. I think he is going to get the submission. I'm going to say under 2.5. I think it comes in rounds 1 or 2. 1 or 2. One of those. But official pick, I'm going money line Rodriguez under 2.5, and the bet, I'm going to say fight not to go the distance. Fight to not go the distance on this one. I think that's the best bet. That's where I'm going to throw my money. And that is that, gentlemen. Let me get up out of here on this one. Boom. 2 submission finishes in a row. Let's go. We are throwing it to Gage. Oh, I'm excited about this one. I am excited about this one. This one is going to be sweet. We got 55ers again. Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovics. Gage, hit him.
Yeah, this one's going to be a straight banger. It's going to be a lot of strikes. Both of those guys average over 200 strikes per fight. Danny Zellhuber has dramatically increased his efficiency in striking over his first 3 fights in the UFC, earning his golden boy moniker. He's young. He's experienced. Boxes very well. Has great ground defense. Also has a 9-inch reach advantage. So if you're going to be standing in boxing, which I think is the MO in this fight, it should be very hard to overcome this. But he doesn't put people out a lot. Goes to decision a lot in his UFC fights. Has a submission win, but I don't think he's going to hunt for it. I think he's just very good defensively and can pursue it if you get him. If you get yourself in that situation, don't think he's necessarily hunting for it. So I'm going to say Danny Zellhuber, UD, 30-27. Bet pick over 1.5.
Over 1.5. Beautiful. Bang. UD. I like Zellhuber, and I totally understand why he's on this card. Because if you're talking the best, not only some of the best in that weight class, but if you're talking just the best Mexican fighters that you're looking to showcase, he's in the top handful. Absolutely. Very, very excited to see that fight. I think it's going to be a good one. I like that. Over 1.5. Bet pick. Beautiful. That one I absolutely agree with too. Absolutely agree with. I got that also. Boom, boom. And now we getting on to the heavy hitters, baby. Matt is also going to be covering the Brian Ortega and Diego Lopez card, but I feel like we should at least share our thoughts on it a little bit, because this one, it was scheduled, fell out, got replaced with
Dan Ige, who's a fucking
fight of the year. Yeah, fight of the year candidate. One of the craziest circumstantial fights that's happened in quite some time. And just, I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all, because we got our money's worth on that one. I think it was a free fight night, but still. We got Brian Ortega just coming off the layoff, still ranked number 3. One thing that I think is notable is that in all the time that he's been here, he's still 16-3. He's only got 3 losses, which feels wrong. It feels like he's, you know, if you listen to the public, the way that they, you know, portray him going into this fight, you would think that he's lost a lot more. But Diego Lopez, bro, he's rolling, baby, rolling. Sean, let me know your thoughts on this fight. You are welcome to give your pick. This is one of those top ones, so you can throw your pick out there too, and not worry about it counting against your record.
Yeah, I like Diego Lopez in this fight. I do agree with like how the public looks at Brian Ortega a little weird and like make it seem like he's so much worse of a fighter. He gets the job done. He wins. But he should have lost to Yair Rodriguez, but Yair Rodriguez had no gas tank towards the end of that fight, and it looked like no willpower. He broke himself. And I think Diego Lopez has all the heart in the world. And if he gets Brian Ortega hurt, and I think he can do that on the feet, he will go for the kill, and he will try to finish him. And if he doesn't, he'll just go back at him the next round. And I do think that this fight on the ground would be phenomenal because both their grappling is next level. So I would love to. This could be a great grappling fight, but I do believe when you get 2 high-level grapplers, you're going to see a lot of striking. It's just how it goes, the history of the sport. And I think you have to give Diego Lopez, with his reach, his height, and his power, the advantage on the feet. So I'm going with Diego Lopez.
Right. Fully agree. Fully agree. I want to choose Brian Ortega just because I'm sure he's going to be juicy as far as the odds go. Gage, what's your thoughts on this fight, brother man?
I mean, Sean, dead, fucking bullseyed it. My only concern, side note, is I know it was a weird lead up to his last fight, but Diego looked tired in that 3rd round against Dan Ige. So it does bring up gas can concerns because we all know Brian Ortega can fight for days. But I honestly don't even think it gets to the 3rd round with the pressure Diego applies and the power differential. Like this, Brian Ortega, good striker, amazing grappler. I just don't think he displays the same power Diego Lopez does. And Diego doesn't have to be a better technical striker. than Brian. He just needs to hit him on a button once, and then it's going to see a lot of high-level grappling. But I think that one good shot probably changes the complexion of how that fight goes. I don't think there's a recovery for Brian there. So I do think Diego gets the finish late round 2, early round 3.
I dig it. I dig it. Then the thing that worries me about this is they are such good ground guys. Both of them will 100% accept the challenge and stand and bang now. And that leads me to believe that this absolutely could be a Diego Lopez KO. But people do sleep on Ortega's striking. Ortega does not have bad striking. His ground game does overshadow his striking, but not a bad striker by any means. And I would not be surprised if Ortega was able to pull this one out. He's currently sitting at a plus 143 to Diego Lopez's minus 170. So definitely one that I'm going to be dripping into some underdog parlays here and there. Brian Ortega, money line, Brian Ortega, round 1, round 2, somewhere in there. But yeah, I got to go with the majority on this one. Diego Lopez, he's rolling, and it's going to be tough to stop that. It's going to be tough to stop that. Boom. But that's going to be so sick. I mean, even though it fell out, I've still been looking forward to that fight. I think that's such a great fight. That's such a fun fight. So I'm glad they got it. Glad they got it done on this one. And Diego Lopez is ranked number 12. Brian Ortega is number 3. So Diego Lopez gets a finish, especially a decisive finish, like a knockout or a submission, something like very dominant, very quick, very like, super decisive. He's jumping. He's jumping. We just saw what happened. Who was it, Sean? Dan Hooker? Didn't he jump like 6 spots?
7.
Bro. Yeah, Diego Lopez gets the finish. He's up in the mix. He's up in the mix for sure. Boom, finally. I'm sorry for taking so long on this one, Gage. I know that we've been holding out on you with this one, dude. We just been dangling it there in front of you and just teasing you with it. We finally made it, though. We finally made it. And oh my goodness, this is great fight for this card, especially. It's going to be difficult, man. It's going to be so difficult. We got the co-main event. We got the women's 125-pound championship champion Alexa Grasso opening at a minus 115, going against number 1 ranked Valentina Shevchenko, former champion, at a minus 105. Excuse me. This one, I'll kick this one off. We already got one Shevchenko decision pick from Kai Guy. We got Alexa Grasso at 16-3-1, 4 KO wins, 2 submission wins, 10 decision wins. She's 5-0-1 in her last 6 fights, coming off of the draw against Shevchenko back in last September. We're in September now, so last September. And Valentina Shevchenko, 23-4-1, 8 KO wins, 7 submission wins, 8 decision wins. She's 9-1-1 in her last 11 fights, also coming off of the draw last September. This one, we did, if you were tuning in, we did get Gage's pick early. So if you were in on the last episode, you already know where Gage is going. So I'm gonna let you kick us off on this one, my man.
Same second verse, same as the first. It's gonna be Valentina. Think she just powerful leg kicks, crisp striking, great grappling, great takedown defense. Alexa, great boxer, great boxer, very technical, works a lot behind her jab. and lands it very, very, very frequently. I think Valentina coming up again, especially after the loss and then the draw, it's kind of, I think, might be do or die time for her in her head of, you know, really not having to go fight someone else and then come back, or potentially lose because she's now 36. We don't know how that works in fighting. Like, and your odds of winning a championship belt fall off a cliff at 30, 35, 36. I do think Valentina just keeps that distance, works behind her strong kicks, mixes it up, works the body, destroys Alexa's legs, and then if you take out the legs, you don't have to fear as much of the power in Alexa's hands. And don't get complacent. Keep working. Keep moving forward, and she should squeak out what I think will be a decision, probably 48-47, Valentina. I think it will be a UD, but if it is a split, I wouldn't be surprised. But my official bet pick for this would be over 3.5, because you never know. Both of them have the potential to do it, but they're all very high level strikers. So I do think it goes into deep water. We'll hit the championship rounds.
That's a very good point. I believe even when Grasso got her that first time, it was pretty late in the fight. I don't remember exactly.
Sure it was at the end of round 4 with like 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Yeah, that's so totally 3.5 is right in that sweet spot. Right in that sweet spot. I dig that one. So we got 2 for Shevchenko. I'm gonna throw it to Sean. We'll get yours on this one too. Who do you got in this co-main event?
Correct myself. It was round 4, but with 26 seconds left.
Oh yeah, late. I dig it. Yep, 3.5. That's where I would go. Sean, do you agree, sir?
I'm going to have to go against it. I'm going to go Alexa Grasso. The first fight, she won two of the first 4 rounds and then getting the finish. The second fight, she won 2 rounds. I think that one judge that had a 10-8 in the 5th round for Alexa Grasso, that was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen when it comes to judging that caused it to be a draw. I do think Valentina won the rematch 3-2. So that was kind of a robbery, but at the same point, it's like, whatever. We get a third one of these 2, and I don't think anyone in the top 5 really stands much of a chance against these 2 at the moment. Maybe Fiorot, but back to why Alexa Grasso, I think, will win this fight. Valentina is 36. She's going to be 37 by the time she has another fight after this. She's been in a lot of battles. Yes, she hasn't been hit a lot because she's just that damn good of a striker. Sorry about that.
All good.
But Alexa Grasso has had moments in both fights where put Valentina on her back foot, and you could see Valentina's like, oh, I cannot be hit by this again. This is a lot. And so she's very heavy-handed, Alexa Grasso being, and I think that's going to be a factor where you're going to have a couple factors. Valentina is going to realize, hey, I can't allow this to be a close fight again, like the last fight. I got to try to make this a dominant win, which can work, and she can win 4-1 on the cards. I don't think she can finish Alexa Grasso. But at the same point, when you're overly aggressive, it could get you caught. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think Alexa Grasso is going to get a good counter or just land a good combo, and she's going to put Valentina down, and she's either going to get to submission or TKO win. I'm not sure which yet. I'm going to go with the submission again. Same thing as the first one. I'm not going to say like a neck crank like what that was, but basically trying to rip her jaw off. But I'm just going to say a submission win for Alexa Grasso the retainer title.
Woo, baby. I was worried. Because I didn't think anybody else would roll that way. I am gonna even it out with you, my brother. I'm gonna go Grasso as well. I think Shevchenko should be favored, but going off of the last two fights, getting finished and then getting a draw, it's obvious that Grasso can hang, you know, and Shevchenko still does have that boogie woman feel of like she's just the scariest person in that division, and we feel like she's going to win every single fight. I do like that Shevchenko is slight plus money. Let me see where she's sitting at right now. Opened at minus 105, and she is where's she at? Hold. Still at a minus 105, according to William Hill, so has not jumped at all. Surprising. But that just lets you know how close this one's going to be. I feel as though Grasso is gonna decision this one. I think that she's kind of got in Shevchenko's head a little bit, and the same that Gage was saying. I think it's do or die for Shevchenko. I think she's hitting that. And you mentioned too the age. She's at that age where it's time to go, or you know, figure out what else you're going to be doing. It's kind of similar to who else did she? Joanna. I feel like it's probably getting about time too. They both like fought each other a bunch before the UFC and stuff too. So, you know, Joanna being out, she took that KO loss and was like, no, I can tell where this is headed. I'm not going to be one of those ones that tries to hang on too long. I wouldn't blame Shevchenko for doing it at all. She has absolutely nothing else to prove in this sport. Unless of course, you know, someone with her, you know, mentality and mindset, I'm sure looks at beating Alexa Grasso as something to conquer. But even if she does, if she does, wonderful. Kind of similar to Jones and Stipe. Like, if he does it, great. If not, we weren't going to hold it against you in the first place. So I'm going to go Grasso by decision on this one. I will say over 3.5. I do like the 3.5 because I think if it is a finish, if it is a submission, if it's a KO, whatever it is, I think it's going to come late. But officially, I'm going to go Grasso by submission on that one. So we got Sean. When did you have an over and under for Grasso submission?
I'll agree with you guys. It's gonna be late. It's gonna be championship rounds. So I'll say over 3.5. I'm assuming the line's even higher than that. If you aren't able to adjust it, like I know where I do Hard Rock where you can adjust the line when it comes to that. So it's probably gonna be 4.5. But I do think it'll be under 4.5. But I do think it's gonna be over 3.5. It's gonna be somewhere in that little sweet range. Championship rounds.
Making me check Hard Rock right now, huh, Sean?
Yeah, because I think that Hard Rock's gonna have it 4.5. It's definitely with the first two fights. Yeah,
that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that does so far. We got 4 unanimous, depending on how Matt goes with it. But as far as this episode, that's our first unanimous is the over 3.5. Kyle had it at decision, so obviously he's going over. Yeah. Obviously he's going over 3.5 as well.
It's still not here yet. So
still not up. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I have Valentina at minus 115 and Alexa at minus 125 on Hard Rock.
Really? Ooh. Very interesting.
Hard Rock has Rob and Sean exactly at a pick'em.
Wow.
Ooh. So we do have the unanimous over 3.5 on the co-main event, and we're going to jump into this main event because this one we have been looking forward to for quite some time. we got the champion Sugar Sean O'Malley versus #1 contender Merab Dvalishvili. Sean O'Malley 18-1, 19-0, 12 KOs, 1 submission win, 5 decision wins, 6-0-1 in his last 7 fights, coming off of a unanimous decision, very dominant unanimous decision win over Marlon Chito Vera back in March. Merab Dvalishvili, though, 17-4, 3 KOs, 1 submission, 13 decision wins. Currently riding, if I'm not mistaken, a 10-fight win streak. Just UD'd Henry Cejudo back in February. The first one we got on here, Kyle threw out his Sean O'Malley KO in the 2nd round. This one, I think we do have the potential to be unanimous on this one. I think we do. It's very, very tricky. This one is touchy. This one's tender. We got to be delicate with this one, but we will get these picks and hopefully have a unanimous solid one on here for you. I'll kick it off on this one and we'll throw it in reverse. I am also going to go with Sean O'Malley by a KO. I don't think it's hard for me to say that it's going to be quick because I do feel like right out of the gate, Merab is going to push the pace. He's going to be looking to get it to the ground ASAP. I think that it's going to take a little while. Sean's going to have to do a little bit of defensive wrestling. He's going to have to prove that he has that ground game. He's going to prove that the jiu-jitsu is there. And just like we covered on the last episode, I think his ground game is being overlooked. I think that people still look at him as, you know, the key to beating him, similar to McGregor, similar to, you know, a lot of strikers who came up, Anderson Silva. Once they hit championship level, everybody says we haven't seen their ground game yet. I think we just haven't seen his ground game yet because nobody has got him on the ground. You know, not in quite some time. I mean, when he hurt his ankle against Sukumtat, he was on the ground for a little while, but I feel like his ground game is being overlooked. I think that Merab Dvalishvili's striking has some holes. He may or may not have been working to fill in those holes, but I think that Sean O'Malley is going to find that opening at some point. He was able to land on Piotr Yan, who has one of the, I mean, Merab Dvalishvili's striking is good, but he's not on Piotr Yan level. And Sean O'Malley was able to catch Yan. And that to me was eye-opening. That was eye-opening. So I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley. Also by TKO, I'm going to say under 3.5 again. I'll say under 3.5.
I like that under 3.5. I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it.
Had that queued up.
I am gonna play it super safe on this one. It could be 2nd round. I do like 2nd round. That's the sweet spot for O'Malley. But I'm gonna say under 3.5. Official bet pick though. I'm gonna lay him out there. I'm gonna lay him on the table. I'm gonna say that my official bet pick is gonna be O'Malley by KO. So I don't even know if we'll get plus money on that at this point. I feel like that's going to be the most favored method of victory on that one, but taking a chance, baby, taking a chance. We got to take some risks. Let's crank it back down to Sean downstairs. Sean, what do you got?
Well, we're not going to be unanimous. I'm going Merab. So I think Merab's going to win this fight for the factor of he's going to learn from Aljamain Sterling's mistakes. Aljamain wanted to play like on the feet a little too much. And give credit to Sean O'Malley there. He kept him at range. But if you look at any of the great wrestlers that have become champions, like a Khabib or so on, you could get GSP, you go behind your jab and you just push the pace, get in their face. They'll have to lower their hands or they have to put their hands up. Do you want to get hit in the face or taken down? Usually they don't want to get hit in the face. So I think Merab needs to do that. I know it's easier said than done, and Merab does get hurt in the 1st round quite often, and that could be the blood in the water there. If he does get hurt in the first, I could be very wrong on this pick. I'm just going to take a thing where he's going to learn from Aljamain Sterling's mistakes. He's going to push the pace, not like Aljamain did. Aljamain kind of pitter-pattered, and he's going to take him down, and he's going to keep taking him down, and he doesn't get tired. It's not like he's going to slow down. We have seen him take someone down over 30 times in a 5-round fight. That is not a joke. That has happened. And he doesn't get tired. He is the most accurate nickname in UFC history, the Machine. It's not a joke. So Sean O'Malley being taken down that many times, that window of getting that knockout starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller because he will get tired eventually. I'm not saying his ground game isn't great. Like Sean O'Malley has said, he doesn't believe this will be the fight that he'll be tested on the ground. I'm going to call BS. You're going to be tested for sure. And will he answer the call? Like, if he stays on his back, that's a losing position. As much as people love their BJJ, it's a losing position unless you get to submission. So you have to get on top or you have to get the hell up. And I think Merab's just going to keep doing it over and over and over again. And we're going to get the decision. And I think it's going to be pretty big. It's going to be borderline Peter Yan Merab fight. It's going to, maybe Sean O'Malley gets around, maybe the first round, maybe. But as the fight goes on and Merab keeps taking you down more and more, you get more tired, and that knockout doesn't come, you're just going to be staring at that clock, Edson Barbosa versus Khabib style, staring at the clock, hoping it just ends now. And that's why I'm going to go. I'm going to go 49-46, give the champ some credit, and give him a round. 49-46, Merab Dvalishvili, and new.
And new, baby, and new. What's the if you got an official over under on that, what are you going to throw out?
Over 3.5. I'll go the exact opposite of you.
Yes. I absolutely agree with you. I do think that Sean O'Malley's ground game will be tested in this. 100%. I think it's going to be tested. I think it's going to be tested more than he expects. And like I was saying, I feel like he's going to have some rounds where he's fighting off his back. He's going to have to display that ground game. Gage, cap us off on this one, brother.
I said my piece last week. Every fight in UFC starts standing up. Yes, it's a cliche. Everyone says it. But you know, fuck it. Who knows? I said Leon Edwards was going to beat Bilal, too. That was a dominant fight by Bilal. I just think Sean has a lot of holes that he can exploit in Merab's striking. Merab keeps his right hand down. He gets hit with left hooks a lot. And Sean's very precise, very clinical, has a lot of power. Will always hit his mark. Will keep Merab at distance. Merab is very short. Doesn't have a lot of reach either. So Merab's going to have to fight through all of that to get to Sean, who also has underrated ground game because no one's ever tested him to get him there. Sean goes, again, to BJJ tournaments, goes to exhibitions all the time, goes to tournaments. Still loves to maintain his ground game. Yes, it's BJJ. It's not all forms of wrestling. No. But it's a basis. Just like no one ever wants to take Charles Oliveira down because you're running into the risk of someone working a submission from their back. Merab's not a big submission threat. He's just a big, I'm going to control you because he's strong and short and powerful and very good at wrestling. I think Sean can really abuse those gaps in the striking and the stand-up. And yes, he will get taken down. It is inevitable. Merab will just outpace him. But Merab's going to walk in and he's laid around thinking Sean's too gassed to hurt him. And he's going to get caught. And then he's going to get caught with something that's going to put him down. So I'm going to go exactly Third round, TKO, Sean O'Malley via left hook on the entry for a shoot.
Could not agree more. We covered that before.
Official pick under 3.5.
Yes. Let's go. Let's go. That left hook is Merab's kryptonite. Merab always gets caught with that left hook. And I haven't.
Cejudo and rocked. It's gonna be rough fighting Sean.
True. Being able to take that is one thing, but being able to take it from somebody like Sean O'Malley with their striking, that's a whole different story. And he did not handle it. I mean, he ended up handling it well, but being able to get clipped by Henry Cejudo like that, that's telling. That's telling. That's a major hole. So if we are split on that one, we're split on Shevchenko Grasso. Do we have Gage? Who do you have for the dog of the week? Dog or lock? If
as you
any.
can see, that I've changed the logo on the bottom of the banner.
Yes, sir. He's on it.
My lock of the week is going to be Danny Zellhuber. The definition. He's -250, I think, last time I checked on Hard Rock. Again, for the reasons I outlined, I had the fight. I think Danny's going to be the definition of a lock on the main card. If you want to go Raul Rosas, also a lock on the prelims. But main card, Danny, for sure. Dog of the week is easy Brian Ortega.
Yep.
And I think of a dog as plus money. So Valentina's technically a slight dog, not plus money though. Fuck that. Brian Ortega's plus money. Definition of a dog. Always live.
I like the way you think, baby. I like the way you think. I got Zellhuber on William Hill at a -220. Very solid pick. Very solid pick. Sean, who are the locking dogs that are going to cover this this card, brother?
I think I'm going to have to agree with Gage entirely there. I was going to go Diego Lopez as my lock, but then it's like it is Brian Ortega, and there's a more of a chance of the upset happening right there. So I'm going to go with exactly what Gage had. And if you want to toss in prelims, just don't forget to put some money on Manuel Torres. I really believe that underdog is going to hit. I really do. He's a very good prospect.
Yes, Manuel Torres still plus money, still plus 105. So get it while the getting is good, folks. Get it while the getting is good. And I do have to agree with you guys too. These are all very, very close odds. Very close odds. Tough to get some plus money unless you're able to pick those pick'ems all in a row. But I agree, you got to go Brian Ortega as the dog, plus 143. That's the best money that you're going to be looking at. Jaregi is a -480. Lopez -170. Raul Rosas -700. Zellhuber at a -220 is a good one. But aside from those big lines, they're all essentially a pick'em. So Brian Ortega is the best money that you're going to get. Throwing on Raul Rosas by submission might be tempting, but at a -700, Jaregi at a -480, difficult to confidently lay on them and make it worth your while. So I like Zellhuber. I like Zellhuber as the lock. That's a -220. That's a beautiful one. That's a beautiful one. I want to say Irene Aldana too, but that one's just that's one I'm not gonna go too crazy on. That's
it depends
danger.
on which Aldana shows up, because she has
right.
two different fighters.
And Norma's no slouch.
Yeah,
Norma's no slouch. If Irene Aldana's not on it, Norma Dumont can make it a long night.
For the sake of college football, what's going on right now? FSU just lost to BC by 15.
What happened to them? Man.
Dude, DJ is terrible, dude. Terrible.
Wow. Went from undefeated and should have honestly been one of the Final Four teams last year to whatever the hell's going on right now.
Dude, DJ Ukulele, whatever the fuck his last name is, Ukulele.
Holy shit.
Fucking bad. Just bad.
Do you know what the
Defense
points?
is terrible.
Do you guys know what the point the run or the point spread for that game was?
It was like 14.5, wasn't it?
Probably FSU was minus.
Yeah, it was minus like 14.5. I thought it was over 2 touchdowns.
Oh my gosh.
And they lost.
Oh wow.
They lost by 2 touchdowns too. Jesus Christ.
Dude, yeah. Oh, somebody
BC covered their spread.
God,
somebody is a very happy camper. Somebody.
Holy shit.
Speaking of happy campers, Sean, Yankees.
They did it.
8-4.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I was waiting until it's done. I didn't want to get you worked up or anything. I didn't want to throw you off. But
that was
Yankees.
That was very
Yankees
good
8-4. Sean, before we wrap it up, do you wanna share what what the good news is? What you got on that ticket?
I'll leave it alone.
Not the winnings. Just
okay. Yeah.
Who you had on that?
Because YouTube's kind of sketchy with actually talking about the money. Had over Cole over 6.5 strikeouts, Yankees winning, and Judge over 1.5 total bases, and 2 of them smacked by like the 4th inning. So I just needed Yankees to win. So
let's go, baby. My play of the day, I had Orioles and Astros. The Astros screwed me as always, but I did get Teoscar Hernandez over 1.5 hits, Mookie 1 hit, Freddie Freeman 1 hit, and Corbin Carroll 1 hit. Thankfully, finally in the 8th inning. Everything else covered by like the 2nd inning. Had to wait till the 8th and sweat it out. But we winning, baby. We winning. Get used to it.
I'm not winning.
Get used to
shit on baseball.
It's tough this year, bro.
I'm happy football's here. Start betting player props in football. Like, there we go. That'll be so much easier.
I'm waiting for football season. I'll hopefully be doing something. This is my first full season betting.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Shoot, if 14-point spreads in college football is covering, I'm gonna have to start paying more attention to college football, dude. Dang.
For college football's a crapshoot. I'll be telling you my first bet of the year will be 49ers minus 3.5 over the Jets.
Solid. I dig it.
Aaron Rodgers is going against that D-line after tearing his Achilles. Oh my God.
Monday night game again. Fucking let's go.
Oh, that's brutal.
They're not covering. They're not losing by less than 4 points. Let me fucking tell you that.
Oh, I'm a Giants
Solid
fan, so
bet.
I don't think we get 4 wins.
And if it doesn't cover, the Jets fucking win. So I'm win-win, baby.
There you go. Solid bet. Rough first game. As a Cowboys fan, I don't think we win 4 games either. So I'm betting. I'm definitely betting against us more than I'm betting on us.
You playing the Browns first week?
I haven't looked.
I think if you're playing the Browns, you might lose week 1 because you don't have CeeDee Lamb also. So I do think that D-line gets the Dak Prescott all day. Yep. So that's my guess.
I've lost all confidence in him, dude. I've lost all confidence in him.
The Eagles are going to run away with that division this year.
Yeah, unfortunately. Shout out to all the Eagles fans that I've been talking trash to. It's your time to shine. Your time to shine.
Well, shall we, gentlemen?
We shall. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. It has been a pleasure to see you guys. I appreciate you for partying it up with me. I love you. Hope you guys are having a great rest of your week. Make sure you guys subscribe. The Fight Pit. You're here already. Might as well click that button. Go follow us on Instagram, the official Fight Pit. You can find all of us there. We're there. We're there. That's the place to be. Appreciate you. Let us know what you guys think. If you got bets going the other way, if you think somebody you're gonna tail, if you like what we're putting down, we're back on the winning track and we're gonna keep it rolling, baby. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. This has been UFC 306. We are the Fight Pit and we are out. Peace.